Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I've just put my hair up. I don't know whether I like it yet. We will see as the stream goes on, but good evening, everybody. It is 3 minutes past, or just clicking over to 4 minutes past 7. It is a Sunday, so it is time for a Psychic Sunday. I am definitely going to put my hair down. I know, right? My hair's been really bugging me. We've just had this whole discussion on the pre-live. I think I'm just going to clip it behind my head. I think that's going to be the kind of way to do it. That's the way you do it. Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday. I am celebrating Pride season because it's more than a month here in the UK. Tonight's makeup, as you can see, we are extolling the virtues or celebrating the wonderful non-binary communities. We've got yellow, white, yellow, white, purple and black, which is the colors of the non-binary flag. So that is what we are wearing today on my eyes. So yes, we're going to crack on with some tarot reading. Hopefully everything's going to go nice and smooth today. No sketchiness from my rather twisted ADD brain. We're just going to go with it today. So yes, good evening to everybody who's here. By the way, if you are annoyed and if you're here on the replay crew, you can always skip forward 2 or 3 minutes, depending on which opening video it is. If it's the countdown video, it's 2 minutes. If it's the one that's just played, it's 3 minutes. The reason those are on the front of all the live streams is because it takes YouTube a couple of minutes, normally about 2 minutes or so, to actually send out the notifications that we're live, and it's staggered over a period of time, so not everybody gets those notifications. By the way, if you don't get any notifications on this channel, click your bell and change your settings to all. A little tip: if you've already done that, but sometimes you don't get notifications. Click it back down a level or two to private or whatever it is, whatever the public or general or whatever it's called. Click it down, go back out of your setting, go back out of it, and then go back in and then change it again back to all, and then YouTube should register that as a new change and it should update you. There's all sorts of things on the with the algorithm that aren't helping small creators at the moment, including the watch time. So I am, if you look at my channel, I've got over 1,000 subscribers quite happily now, but we are still not able for monetization because the watch time is way under that 4,000 magic hours, because obviously when you're doing live streams, most people jump in and jump out, so we don't get a lot of watch time on the streams. The other videos, they're just, we're not a big enough channel yet for the other videos to pick up that slack. So that's what that's all about. Anyway, if you're here as part of the replay crew, you can always skip that first video, and do please put an emoji in the chat. What shall we have today? Shall we have, I tell you what, we'll have the pride flag maybe. So the pride flag, the rainbow flag, if you've got that on your emojis, let's have that today to celebrate Pride season. By the way, don't forget, you can see here the progress flag, the new progress flag with the intersex on it and the trans colors, so that's useful. I'm going to click on let me just get this up. So don't forget, up here you can always go along to buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic. If you're wondering, there is a fly in here. I'm going to get it in a minute. I know, right? I need chopsticks like on Karate Kid. If you're wondering what I'm talking about with a pre-live, you can go over here, buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic, where you can support this channel by joining up as a member. It costs just, well, it actually costs from £3 a month if you just want to chuck us a bit towards the costings. But if you would like to get the benefits, so you get to be part of the pre-live live stream. So we do an hour's live stream every Sunday where it's just a bit chatty. We talk about things on a bit more of a personal, friendly type level. And also you get all the videos at least a day early if you like that. And there's free downloads and all sorts over there. So if you like that, it costs £5 a month. So £1.25 a week if you would like to go and join us over there. That's also where you can QJump. So if you're waiting in the tarot tonight, you're waiting on the stream and you think, oh God, I just want a reading. Lisa's not picking me, like it's not, we've got lots of questions in, there's a lot of people on, then you can go and QJump for just £4 or $3.50 if you're a member, because all of the members get discounts over there as well. Right, that's all the blurby blurb. So how does the tarot work on this channel? Well, first of all, as always, I have to say that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. Okay, you do make all of your own decisions about your own life. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, as I always say, please do check out professionals in those areas. I do have some counseling skills qualifications and some other qualifications that are pertinent, but I'm not a professional in those areas. They just help me deliver the readings in a slightly more empathic and caring kind of way, if you like. But we are going to open up the readings. Before we do, I've got to say hello to everybody that is in the live stream right now. So good evening to Ed, good evening to Nanette, good evening to Patricia, good evening to Neil. Who else have we got here? Good evening to Renata. Good evening. Hello, my darling. Your personal gods and everything that you're with is so beyond anything of my understanding. It's like I'm back in preschool playing with bloody Play-Doh. It's like I'm literally building Play-Doh figures and not quite working out how to put the square block in the circle hole, and you're over here going, this is all the gods of the it's like you're talking another language. It's amazing. I desperately need to get you on the podcast at some point, if you'll be up for that. Anyway, Nanette's doing okay. We've got Claire Lewis. Good evening, Claire. We've got Peacock Rainbow Queen. Good evening, Peacock Rainbow Queen. We've got Julie. Julie, I've got your QJump on, so we're going to grab yours. What is your future? Oh, what's your future, rather? Yeah, that one. Julie Thomas. Yeah, I've got Julie Thomas. Patricia. Have I got everybody? Have I said hello to everybody? I think I've said hello to everybody. Oh, Crystal Rose. Good evening, Crystal Rose. You missed us last week because you were asleep. That's fine. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to a snooze. I hope you had a good sleep, my darling, because that is also really important, isn't it? Hi. I hope everybody is doing well. Right, I'm going to crack on today with a QJump that's already come in for Julie. Is Julie not Julia, isn't it? Yes, Julie. And so I'm going to do that one first. After Julie, though, if you would like a reading, this is how you do it. So this is how you get a reading after Julie. Okay, so I'm going to do Julie first, and then I will crack on with the others. So when I call and say that the list is open, this is what you need to do. It's not open yet. It will be open after Julie. So yes, good evening. Right then, let's go on. I'm immediately pulled to the Lightseers deck. This, as you'll know, is rapidly becoming one of my favorite decks here on the channel. I do also have the Radiant Rider. Woo! The Radiant Rider Smith Weight when it doesn't want to Rider Weight Smith. Yeah. I do have that one as well when it's not trying to jump out at me. And I've got, we'll also go with the Queer Tarot today as well, celebrating Pride season as well. So I'm just going to randomly pull different decks. Right then, as always, it's time to bring in the dragons. So then, dragons, first of all, I need to apologize. There's no music for you all tonight. I've had to swap the cabling around because of the internet cable. So hopefully the internet's going to be a bit cleaner tonight. But that means, Wispy, I'm so sorry we don't have your music. But I am sure plenty of people in the chat, whenever I say the word Wispy, they can imagine a wind chime for you, okay? And you can take that energy, my darling. If you don't know what I'm talking about with dragons, there's a whole podcast. We've done a whole podcast about what my dragons are. Go and check on the channel after we've done this. There's a whole podcast episode about the truth about my dragons. So go and check that out on the channel. It's very good. Right then, let's have a look-see. So here we go. Let's bring card cam in. Card cam should be absolutely fine today because we've got a very, very strong internet signal. There we go. There's card cam. So then, dragons, we would like to know, for the lovely Julie, we would like to know, hang on, come on. Yes, we've accepted this camera. So why am I still on that screen? There we go. Let me have a look, see, la 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 la. What is in what is in Julie's future? That's what we want to know, dragons. What is in Julie's future? So then let's crack on with it. So what is in Julie's future? A nice simple card. What we'll do for you today, Julie, let me just double check over on the YouTube. We've definitely got mods. Can you just check that we've definitely got subscriber mode on? I think we have. So yes, right then, let's have a look. Now, as always, when we get a QJump, we get, oh look, there was a card flipped. I did wonder, I thought there was. We've got the 7 of Swords as your, oh hang on, no we haven't, because that's flipped. Right, okay, there's 2, so we don't do that. We're just using 1, Wispy. If you want a flipped card, sorry everyone, I thought that was 1. Right, here we go. So, what was I saying? I was saying something then, wasn't I? I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Gosh, right. Wispy, I know you're not happy because you've got no music, but can we please have a decent shuffle? Thank you. Right then. So, because we've got a QJump, I'm going to do you a... We'll do it. Oh, Wispy, stop it. There, Wispy, that's also air energy. Right. I've got an angry dragon. Yep, it's going to make no sense unless you go and watch the podcast. Then you'll understand. Right then, let's go. So this is for Julie. Oh, maybe that was the problem. Maybe we needed to ring it a little bit louder. There we go, because that's now shuffling really well. Look. Right then, what is in Julie's future? As always, with a QJump, we do a 6 or 7 card reading. I feel that we need to do a 6 card top bottom. Yeah, 6 card top and bottom. Right. So, we've got the World in the past. We've got the 3 of Wands in the present. And in the future, we have the Queen of Cups. Right. So, we'll put that there, and that there. So then, Julie, my love, let's have a look at what all of this means. So, this feels very much like we are looking at a quite a significant change that's been happening. So in the past position, we've got the World. Now it's come up reversed, but I'll show you it the right way up. Now this is very distinctly different to other decks' version of the World. Look, I've got a more I mean, this is in 3D, but I've got a more standard version of the Rider-Waite type of World. This feels very similar, but very different. For a start, she hasn't got a BAPS out, you know what I mean? So this is a really good card because it's talking about having the world at your fingertips. You are, you are creating the world around you. You are living in the world, blah, 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 lots of positivity. But this has come up reversed, which means it almost feels like you were an alien on Earth. Do you know what I mean? It almost feels like there is something here that you've not felt fully part of the world. Part of your world, you know what I mean? It just feels like there's been a bit of a disconnect, and it's been quite major for you. It's not been like a little bit of, ooh, I'm not sure. It's like, I don't want to say that everything's been turned upside down, but it kind of almost feels like that. It kind of almost feels like whatever's gone on has been quite a substantive change. Let's see what your subconscious is saying. So this could be to do with friends or family, because the subconscious, we've got the 3 of Pentacles. Now, Pentacles is normally work. Hang on, let me just take this. Let me take the scrolling bit off because that will make it a bit easier to see. And in fact, if I take the question off as well, there you go. Oh, sorry, Claire. So yeah, so we've got, because we've got the 3 of Pentacles, it means there's a lot of effort that you're putting into a connection here. So it could be workplace based, but I don't believe it is because of these other top cards. So this is really talking about this past thing. What's made you feel this disconnect is this relationship you've got either with family members or with friends. It could be colleagues, but it seems to be more on that friendship level, or more on that sort of family, that stronger connection. Now, the reason I'm saying about the amount of effort is because the cups is the Pentacles is that suit of material things, workload, normally career finances, but it can also, for me, just mean that amount of effort. And this card, you can see these 3 people working together on this wall hanging. This is talking about group work and those sort of bonds and those groups that you have around you. So this is very different. Look, this is very, very different. This feels like there is a like this is the reason for the disconnect. Now in the present, we've got the 3 of Wands. So we've got a 3 down here as being an issue, if you like, a causation, and we've got a 3 here coming in. So again, this feels like you are one to me is security, confidence, all of those things. So this feels like you are trying to gather the pieces around you, gather the sisterhood almost, I want to say, where you're like gathering your friends. I'm getting the scene in my head from Practical Magic, you know, where they ring the phone tree and they get all of the other teachers and they're like, bring a broom, and they bring the brooms and then they sweep out the dust from the evil one. Like, that's what it kind of feels like. You are needing to bring other people together. Now, interestingly, Wands is a fire elemental suit. So we've got the fire, but on all 3 of these wands are lit. So it could be that this is dusk, could be, or it could be that this is telling you something about this fire energy within you. You need to have this flame lit within you. When we go, wow, King of Wands. So who is this person, Julie? Who is this person? Because whoever this king is, either this is a new king that you're maybe starting a relationship with, or this king has been, I don't know, has been somehow fundamental in helping you rebuild your confidence. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is really, really interesting that there is this here. So yeah, it's an interesting connection, because it feels like this card is very similar in its vibe to the strength card, but it's also quite different because the lion here, it can be seen almost like this is like an alpha male type energy. So it feels almost like this is that, you know the all the poor insecure men on the YouTubes and on the internet, where they're all like, this is how you get a woman, you gotta beat her over the head and show her you're the boss, and oh, it's so hard being a man in the world, ooh, white cis men, oh, it's so difficult for us, all of that BS. Well, this is kind of the card that represents that for me, because it really is like, look, I'm an alpha male, I'm the lion in the jungle. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're just a bit of a wuss. But anyway, it's got that vibe about it, right? In the future, we've got the Queen of Cups. So there is a very strong emotional connection, because as I said about Wands being to do with your confidence, Cups is to do with your emotions. So we've got a really strong emotional journey for you to go on. Okay, so this journey is all about you embracing that emotional side, whether that is the love vibe. It could be like really getting that love energy, loving yourself, loving the people around you, and really holding that in place. But it feels like this is going to be something that is relatively new for you to step into this queen role. Again, confidence. Again, it's all about this sense of confidence and about you striking out to live your life the way that you choose to live it. Particularly if I'm wrong, by the way, if this king is just somebody who happens to be really, really confident and is helping you build your confidence, then that can be a positive. I should have said that, because it is upright, so that alpha male qualities will tend to come up on a reverse card. So it could be a really positive. If you've got a new king in your life, my darling, I mean, well done you. But also, if he's quite sure of himself without being arrogant, then that's a positive. So that could relate to this queen, because you've got that queen sort of vibe coming. It's not so much Beyonce queen energy. It's more like Whoopi Goldberg queen energy. You know what I mean? It's a bit friendlier, a little bit more approachable, a bit more smiley, rather than the fierceness of Beyonce. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. And then in this subconscious, oh my God, what was I just saying about the strength card? And we've had the strength card come up. Now look, see what I mean about this connection with this card. Like, this is your king and this is the strength card. Wow. So yeah, I don't know whether you've just split from this person or whether this person is still in your life, but overall, the thing that is going to get you to queen energy is your inner strength. Okay, so this is a brilliant card, because you can see this is literally talking about inner strength. Because on a standard, let me just see if I can find it on this one, on a standard Rider-Waite-Smith or the standard sort of traditional tarot deck, there you go, look, it's much more, the fair maiden is putting her hand in the lion's mouth to pull the bad tooth. This is far more, this is not your fair maiden, this is not your, weak struggling person. Oh no, this maiden is a queen. This maiden is strong. She's got that lion energy. She's got the lamb. She's looking after it. There's a heart here. That stone could well be carnelian, which is very, very healing and very strong. So again, you've got this infinity symbol that's coming in. There's all of this iconography saying that you've got this really positive energy moving forward, Julie. And I think, to be honest with you, I do honestly feel that this king is a bit of a negative for you. It feels like it's holding you back rather than building you up. I don't know whether that makes sense to you. But that is going to be your reading, my darling. Like, what is to come is you living your queen, living your best self, and actually making that and finding that inner strength. Okay, these are fantastic together. This is all about you thriving, not just surviving, and actually taking control where it matters in your life. Okay, that is what these two cards absolutely represent. I cannot believe this came up when I was talking about it with this one. But there you go, my darlings. Hopefully that helps. And yeah, I'll be interested to see if you can take it. Let me know in the comment section. Let's jump back over to the other camera. There we go. I know, right? Smooth now, isn't it? It's nice and smooth. So yes, so is that okay for you, my darling Julie? I hope that helps. Let me know. It's a bit difficult when it's quite a vague open question, but yeah, I absolutely hope that helps. If there's anything you need clarifying, just drop me a message and I will do that for you, my darling. Right, okay. While I'm waiting for Julie to say whether that was, you know, connected or not, yay, look, Neil's put it in the thing. Neil's put it in the thing. It's in the live chat. So if you want to know about my dragons and what they are and all of that, there is a whole link. This is the reason we did the podcast, is because people often go, dragons? You what? Are you the bloody, do you think you're Khaleesi now? I know, right? Khaleesi. Oh, shit. That could have been a thing, couldn't it? When Game of Thrones was big, I could have called myself the Khaleesi. Too late now. I hope it helps, Julie. I really do, my darling. Right then, it is time. It is time. Let's get the next cab off the rank. Let's get going. If you would like a reading, how do you get a reading on this channel? I've got no idea. Luckily, there's a video that explains it. So then, absolutely, you can guarantee your reading is next by going across to buymeacoffee.com/beyondauthentic. Let me just check if anybody has QJumped there, apart from the lovely Julie who did earlier. We are absolutely fine, so nobody has QJumped there for now. So I'm going to pick one on the comments section. Let's pick one at random. We're going to go with Mary. I don't know why. Mary, what? Hang on. I can't. Where's my specs gone? This is when you know you're getting old. I've had to, on my phone, I've had to increase the size on the WhatsApp text because I'm so old. Question, will I get one of the account sales executive positions I applied for? Oh, good luck, Mary. Good luck, my darling, with that. Let's have a look-see. So let's bring in card cam. Let's do the doodah and switch over to the other cam. Here we go then. So dragons, once again, good evening. The lovely Mary would like to know, will I get one of the account or sales executive positions that she's applied for? So Mary would like to know, is she going to get one of these account sales positions, these executive positions? Right. Oh, we've had a card flip. The Knight of Cups. That doesn't really help us. That doesn't help, dragons. Why have we got the Knight of Cups? So let's have a look. So as a clarifying card, the Knight of Cups. Knights are the teenage energy, rebellious teenage type energy. We've got there's a stallion here in the background. We've got love. We've got a strong passion connection. Let's see. We've got, again, like there's you can't really see down there, can you? Look, there is a little picnic with stuff that's been packed, like nice bits of food, drink, a candle, a letter, there's a cup there, a bowl there, all sorts. He's got a bag, a satchel, so I wonder what's in that. But it doesn't really tell us anything. So once we get a card that flips, we are going to do the doodah. We're going to do the doodah. So then let's have a look-see. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. Cut it. And so 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Oh, all 3 are reversed. All 3 are major cards. Really? Okay. Okay. Right. With the Knight of Cups as a clarifier? Okay, all right, dragons. What the hell are you giving to me? Thank you. How the hell am I supposed to interpret this? Right, okay. So if you don't know, the major arcana is the biggest part of the tarot deck, if you like, in terms of what you often see on telly. It's actually only 22 cards. It goes, it starts off with the 4, which is 0, and the World, which is the 21st numbered card. So there is 22 in total, but they are the big shouty cards. They're the headline cards. The rest of the deck is made up of 56 normal cards, a bit like a playing cards, but instead of it going ace to 10, jack, queen, king, with the tarot we go ace to 10, page, knight, queen, king. So this is like the teenage energy, if you like. So in the past position, we've got the Hangman, which means there was a lot of, oh gosh, I'm dropping everything today. That's me dropping it, not the cards, by the way. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Oh, don't do this, cards. Oh, I've got it. It's on the other side. I know, right? I said I wasn't going to be sketchy, but anyway. So we've got the Hangman. Now, the Hangman is about patience, a bit of self-sacrifice, waiting for knowledge to come. So I think that's what you've been doing with this. It's like you've been waiting. It feels like, because the Hangman is all about waiting for things at the right time, I think you're a bit impatient with it. I don't know how many jobs you've applied for, but it feels like you want the answer now. It's like you've only just had an interview, but you want it now. So yeah, this is saying just hang on in there a little bit. You need to have some patience. Go away, fly. I'm going to fly. If you carry on in this room, I will squish you. Okay, go in the other room. That's fine. You get to live. You can go out the front door. If you stay in this room, you will get squished. You have been warned. Right. So this is, I think this is saying that there's been kind of, it's almost like you want the answer now. It's like, I've applied for the job. I'm fully qualified. I want to start Monday. And it's just saying, be patient. We've got the Lovers reversed coming up. Now, this again is interesting because it's talking about that this isn't just about physical and romantic love, although it can be. It's talking about your passions. And again, this is reversed. So it feels like there is some sort of connection here with following your heart and following your passion. So if one of these jobs more than the rest is all about your passions, then that's cool, but this is reversed. So it may well be that actually your heart isn't in it. Your heart isn't fully on board to do this, if that makes sense. And it could be that is something that might hold you back in the interview process. However, I do feel there is something for you in the future. Again, when we look at the Knight of Cups, when we look at the Lovers through the Knight of Cups, it's that first love type thing, you know, that's fleeting. So it's really saying that I don't think the jobs you've applied for are actually kind of where you want to head. It feels like you're doing it just for the sake of doing it. I don't know why I'm getting that impression. It feels like your heart is being pulled somewhere else entirely. So even though you've applied for jobs, it feels maybe you're doing it just because you need to, you know, pay the bills rather than this is what you want to do long term. And I don't know whether that's coming across in interviews, maybe, because it feels a little bit, I don't know. It feels like your heart really isn't in it. But also we've got the High Priest. Now I will turn her up this way. So the High Priest is talking about there being a strong spiritual connection, a strong intuitive connection, but also the priestess, the High Priestess is really, really, really about going to become an authority figure, and to become like the leader of the church, the religion, in capitals, right? So this isn't just about spirituality and spiritual connections and finding and going with your inner heart and all of that. This is really about taking on a role that you are seen to be the High Priestess. But again, this is reversed. Now, the one thing I will say about the reversal is look at the High Priestess's eyes. You can see they're closed, but are they? Are they closed? Can you see her pupils? You can see her eyes through her closed eyes, if that makes sense. And what that means is she's seeing it. She's seeing beyond. And especially when she's reversed, it's like saying that there is something here that, yes, you may well get a job offer, because I do think that this is a positive card in terms of a job offer, but you are not going to be happy doing it. It's like whatever this role is that you're stepping up into, it feels like it isn't authentic for you, and it feels like it isn't what you want to be doing. It's like you can do it, you can pay the bills with it, but that is not what your calling is. There is something else that is calling. The fact that we've got 3 major arcana cards coming up in such a strong way, especially with this one being all about self-sacrifice and waiting, this one being about following your heart, and this one about stepping up into that sort of that almost dogmatic role, but a role where you have to have full faith and belief in what you're doing. The fact that all 3 of these is reversed whilst we've got this teenage sort of crush energy, that I think is really, really interesting. So I do think that one of these positions is probably going to be offered to you, but maybe not the exact position you've applied for, and maybe not in the way you've applied for it, if that makes sense. So it could be that you end up getting offered another role within the company, or that the job that ends up being offered to you is very different from the job that's on the paper on the, you know, job wanted, person wanted form. It could well be that the job you end up doing is very different from the one you apply for. I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. It does feel like there is a position here, but also it does also feel like it's not entirely for you, if that makes sense. I mean, if it's something that's perhaps a short-term fix, you know, get your medical insurance if that's what you need, get your bills paid if that's what you need, and then while you're in that job, look for something else. That's a very strong possibility. Maybe that would be the advice of the cards, because it really does feel that your heart is not in this. So maybe get the bill, move on. Anyway, hopefully that helps. Thanks ever so much for the question, Mary. And let me swap cameras back again. There we go. And on to the questions. No, the comments, not the questions. I didn't move the camera, did I? No wonder I couldn't see. No problem, my darling. I hope it helps. What? But it often means dodgy. What means dodgy? Sketchy. For me, it means following all the minute route map diversions that my brain wants to put in place. So it's not so much that it's dodgy, it's sketchy. It's that my attention to detail is sketchy. So it's kind of like goes a little bit like this. Rather than a lineal line, because I'm not very lineal. Right then, let's have a look. So then we've got 10 people in the, oh, I haven't got a glorious. Fine, we've got 10 people on the live. I don't know how many likes we've got. Can one of the mods check for me? But let's have a like spike, okay? That would be glorious. I will have something. Normally there's a button I can push and it plays music here. So yeah, we haven't got that at the moment. So just pretend. Glorious. I will achieve, I will succeed, something is glorious. I don't know what the words are. It's a WWE thing. I think it's Robert Roode, his entrance music. Oh, I've just pulled my hair out. Right. So then we are going to have another reading. Who would like a reading? Who wants a reading? Oh, 9. Hang on. We've got 11 on the stream right now, which means 2 of you have not hit that like button. So I'm just going to wait here until you do. A bit like your mother. You know, your mother's kind of going, I'm going to wait until it's done. So we're just going to wait here. Wait here. I tell you what, though, it looks like we've got some new subscribers as well. If you are a new subscriber to this channel, you might not be aware that I got myself in a whole bunch of internet drama recently. It was just so much drama. It wasn't my fault. I'm going to do a video in a grey hoodie in the kitchen crying, because that's what we've got to do as YouTubers. But if you didn't see it, this was what was on the news. Can you believe I even made the news?
YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Thank you to the 2 people that just decided that if I swear on the internet that they do want to watch. Somebody has just come on just while that was playing, and they then decided to bugger off because I sometimes swear. So there you go. It does the right thing. It is time for more reading. So if you would like a reading, go ahead and put your question into the live chat right now, starting with the word question. You see that video, that news video is very good, isn't it? It tells you I might swear, and then 2 people left. Oh well, bye. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look at the live chat and see what we've got for questions. Right then, I've got Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose, I've got your question. I've just seen yours. So then let's have a little look. So Crystal Rose, you had a vivid dream about M last night, the man you have feelings for. Was it a naughty dream? Did you wake up all hot and bothered? Or was that just because it was a warm night? Well, it wasn't that warm last night, Crystal Rose, was it? No, it wasn't. It wasn't as warm as it has been. So if you woke up in a bit of a, well, I do declare, oh my, I do. If you woke up a bit like that, then we know it was a very nice, special, vivid dream, if that makes sense. The only thing I will say, this is going slightly off topic, but it's fine. We're still not sketchy. It's fine. The only thing I will say is be careful, because you know the sticker they used to put on the rear mirrors, and it used to say, be warned, things look bigger in the rear view mirror than they actually are, or things may appear bigger in mirrors than they may well seem, or whatever it was. Just be careful, because you can have that same experience in dreams. In dreams, you can believe that certain things are very, very big. Very big, and then when you actually find out in real life, they can be not as big, like much not as big. So just be aware, because if you've had the dream and you think it's going to be a huge, and it turns out that it's only a single bar of chocolate rather than those big ones you get, or like the little mini Toblerone rather than the big giant ones you get at Christmas, it's really disappointing, isn't it? Like, who wants a little single bar of chocolate when you've been dreaming about a big, huge Galaxy or Cadbury slab of chocolate? You know what I mean? So it can be disappointing that things sometimes aren't as big and tasty as they are in real life. So I've had that experience. I have dreamt about having a bar of chocolate, and it turns out it's not a big slab of chocolate. It's just one of those little tiny taster ones, because I'm on a diet. But anyway, why is that? Why are you saying it's rude? Why is that rude? Saying about, I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Why are you saying it's rude? I wasn't being rude. I wasn't being rude. Was I? Chocolate. I don't know. Anyway, we'll bypass that. Right then, dragons. Let's get the camera in. Crystal Rose would like... Press the wrong button then. Crystal Rose would like a reading, dragons. Here we go. On card cam, Crystal Rose would like to know... There you are, Wispy. Is that enough of a bell for you? Crystal Rose had a very vivid dream about M last night, the man that she's got feelings for. What is his true feelings about Crystal Rose? Let's have a look, dragons. So what does M, and when we say M, we don't mean Judi Dench or the other guy that was M in the Bond films. We don't mean that. But what does M feel for Crystal Rose? Let's have a look. Right then, Wispy. What does M... Oh, that's a nice flippy card. We'll come to that next. Oops, hang on. Normally I stop. So there we go. We'll stop the reading, the shuffling, and we will do your cut. I wasn't being rude. I don't know who said... Absolutely not being rude. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not my fault you got a dirty mind. Right, so then, the 7 of Wands is your clarifying card. Now, I'll hold it this way up. So for me, Wands is all about security and confidence. And this is reversed. But the 7 of Wands is talking about there being a few challenges ahead, a few... Maybe there's a certain element where you need to kind of ground yourself and be at peace. But also this card, I mean, you can see like, who travels in a bubble? I ask you. But you've got this element here, which is, how can I put it? How can I put it? Where you've got a strong connection, where you are building from your, I don't know what, is this the sacral one? I think it is the sacral chakra, but you are building this from a grounded perspective, okay? So what I'm trying to say with that is that the 7 of Wands for me is talking about rebuilding confidence, but also not being afraid, and not everything is going to be supportive, and not everything is going to be kind of what you need to take forward. Does that make sense? So it looks here that some of this is not exactly wanted. Does that make sense? Especially because it's upright. So some of the elements that you would usually use to build your confidence, some of it isn't wanted. I don't know quite how to explain that. Give me just a second. We'll pull your cards. So how does M feel? So this is you. Oh, Empress. This is what you need to know, and this is the opportunity. Again, lots of reversed cards. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Right, okay, so again, 2 major arcana cards as well, so the cards are really trying to shout this message to you. So where you are now, we've got the Empress reverse. Now the Empress for me is all about abundance, but in this deck she's very much sort of, this is the one card in this deck that I actually don't like, and it's my favorite card of the tarot overall. But in this deck you can see that she's got the entire globe almost in her belly, and it's really depicting that Gaia Earth Mother thing. Now I've got some issues with this, but we'll just go with it for what it is. Now this is talking about in the position where you are now, it's talking about, yes, you are wanting to have this sort of element of connection. You are wanting, how can I put it, you're wanting this abundant field, this abundant life energy, but also it's reversed. So it's saying that even though this is here, it's like it doesn't feel like either this is the right moment for, certainly not for any sort of motherhood element, but also it kind of feels that you are not quite living your Empress life. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like you are still needing to build that a little bit, especially with this Wands card coming up as your clarifier. It really does feel like there's a certain things that you need to have a bit more faith in yourself and a bit more faith in your abilities, because the Empress, one of the key things with the Empress is that there's only the Emperor who is arguably minutely above her in the entire deck. She overrides and overrules all of the kings of their individual suits. She overrides all of the other cards, even like the Hierophant and the High Priestess. She is kind of above those because the Empress is she gets to say, but it's again Game of Thronesy, right? So you'd have the Empress up against the Empress and the Emperor on one side, up against the High Priestess and the Hierophant on the other. They're both kind of trying to get the power behind the throne. Now, interestingly, you've got both of these. Now, in theory, the Empress has control over the High Priestess and the Hierophant, because arguably she is politically more advanced. So she is somebody who is very, very, very in control of her actions and very, very well suited, if that makes sense. She's got like, there's a lot of she's got a lot of power and authority. The only person arguably higher than her because of the patriarchy is the Emperor. But what that means for you is that this may be a position that you're not quite confident about, right? Now you're asking what does M feel for you? I think that's kind of, oh, excuse me, 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I just had to burp. I'm drinking some energy drink again, and oh, that's really gassy. So yeah, so that's what you need to know. No, sorry, that's where you are. What you need to know is kind of his feelings. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles. So Knights are that teenage energy. So it's that rebellious energy. It's that sort of teenage element of, I don't really think about the actions of what I'm doing or any of the repercussions. Therefore, I'm going to go and do it all anyway. So you've got that element. There's a lot of work here. And also we've got some... we've got some, sorry, I need to come off the chat because I'm getting hugely distracted. For what you need to know, I think that there is a financial connection and a work connection. Now, whether that's with you and M directly, I don't know, but it feels like he is on his own. He's on his own path. He's on his own journey. He's on his own quest. Whether or not that connects with you will largely depend on whatever this financial connection is. Now, if you both work in the same environment, that could be interesting. That could be where this connection is. But it feels, because it's upright, because it's not upright, it feels like it's almost his priority is about work, money, money, work, career, money. So I'm not sure where you fit into this, okay? There's no romance cards, there's no cup cards, there's no water element cards. So this does feel quite... I don't know. I think he's far more focused on money and career than he is on you, my darling. In the opportunity that's coming up, we've got the Hierophant reversed. Now, the Hierophant is like a guru in this deck. He's like, I mean, almost looks like he's a yoga teacher, doesn't it? But he's like a guru. He's got this element of like moving towards the higher energy, that sort of deity energy, that sort of higher connection, higher power type thing. But it isn't in any particular religion. He really is just saying, like, this is about getting in touch with your inner spirituality and your highest self. Now it's reversed, which is saying there is something here that is going to block this. So it could be that has some sort of religious connection or church type religion rather than faith, rather than spiritual connection. So it could be something like that. It could also be that how can I put it? It could also be that the Hierophant, this reversal, is saying that he absolutely is not in touch with anything spiritual, and he poo-poos everything that is spiritual. And so although this is an opportunity position, it's almost like saying, if you are somebody who is quite empathetic, quite switched on in a spiritual way, that maybe he really isn't, and that is something that's going to be a disconnect. It's a little bit strange, to be honest with you, Crystal Rose. I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring the chat back. I'm going to swap. No, I'm not going to swap cameras. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the cards, right, dragons, we're going to cut the deck, and I want an outcome card for M and Crystal Rose, right? Specifically, I want an outcome card for, is there a romantic connection between M and Crystal Rose, right? Romantic connection, an actual relationship connection rather than a fantasy or a dream or anything. Is there actual feelings that M has for Crystal Rose that could lead somewhere, right? That's what I'm asking, dragons. So we're going to cut the cards. I'm just making sure there's no issues with anything sticking. Right, we're just going to cut the deck. Is it going to fall? It's still going. It's still going. Right, that's where it's gone to. So let's have a look. Oh, well, we've got our first upright card, so that's good. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think there is. The Four of Swords is talking about obstacles and challenges. The Four is talking about sort of a stability level. So it kind of feels that I don't think he's got feelings for you. I do genuinely think that there is, like, you can literally see the heart here. It's not currently broken, but it is attached to all these swords. So I think there is some challenges and obstacles ahead if you were to pursue something with him. I do absolutely think he's all about work, and that he isn't necessarily on the same spiritual level as you, and this card is really backing that up. I don't think that it feels very romantic. Swords is your trouble and strife suit, and for me, this is really saying keep him as a dream fantasy, keep him as something when you want to enjoy yourself. But yeah, that is what I would say, my darling, and thank you very much for that. I've just popped back on, guys, so I can see. Oh no, hang on. I wasn't even on the right camera. Hang on. There we go. Right. Move the camera out the way. You see all the other keyboard and junk I've got. Thank you. So yes. I hopefully that helps, Crystal Rose. I know it's not going to be the answers you're looking for, my darling. But maybe keep him up there with Mr. Darcy and Channing Channing Tatum, whatever that attractive guy that everybody thinks is attractive is. Jason Momoa for me personally, but you know what I mean. Keep him in that sort of realm. Sorry, my darling, it's Patricia, it doesn't look like we're getting a hat for Crystal Rose just yet. But anyway, hopefully that helps, and thank you ever so much for your question. Right, what have I missed in the chat? Hang on. I saw a comment by oh, hang on. Oh, I've got your comments here, Crystal Rose. Right. He is spiritual. We both are. Not in the same way as you, then. Not in the same way. There is something distinctively. That Hierophant, that Hierophant reversed is saying that there is something here distinctly different about this spiritual view. So it could be that he is more likely to follow a very different path to your spirituality, or that his spiritual side is not as important a part of him. Does that make sense? But yeah, let me have a look. See, you're not working due to illness, so you feel less worthy at the moment. Illness is illness. We all get ill. You can't help that, my darling. And if you're poorly, you're poorly. Empress card is, that's what I saw Renata's comment. The Empress card is truly horrible. I agree, it's not my favorite. This girly girl with a glued on painted pregnancy belly, it's neither an Empress nor an Earth Mother. No, I absolutely agree. It's not a card that, had I seen the full deck, it might have been enough for me not to buy it. But actually, I really like this deck. I really enjoy the connection. It's just that one card that for me is a bit disliked. It's got so many connotations about, the Empress can only be an Empress if she's with child or bears children. It's the same thing in some decks. They've taken the Empress to have just given birth and to be nursing. And there's all sorts of connotations, because not everybody who identifies as female can go through that, whether you're, assigned female at birth or whether you're trans. Or non-binary. It's like not everybody assigned female at birth can have children, regardless of whether they're on the trans spectrum. And so there's all sorts of connotations that I just think in this day and age, it's unfortunate that they fell back on that one trope on that card. The rest of the deck, almost without fail, I really like, but on that one card, it just feels that they dropped the ball, and then painted it to look like an Earth and put it in front of her belly. I know, but I can just about leave that to one side and look at the rest of the deck. Every time that Empress card comes up, it's like, oh, that's not my Empress. That's not the connection I get. Yes, she's about motherhood and nurturing, but it's more than the physical act. Like, you don't have to carry a child to be a mother. Like, people that adopt, people that foster, people that look after pets, you know what I mean? You don't have to give them birth to something to mother it and to nurture it. And so, yeah, I find that really a bit difficult. But anyway, thank you very much for your comment. You must agree about the Jason Momoa. Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? The fact that I've got the fact that my husband is a short, I was about to say round, but he's not round anymore, but a short, chunky ginger, and Jason Momoa and Roman Reigns from the wrestling, like, are my, oh, it's a bit handsome, isn't it? But I've always had a soft spot for gingers. Always had a soft spot for gingers. Been talking about that for 20 odd years. Just ask Neil. I am sure that 20 years ago, Neil was if I go back in time and see Neil from 20 years ago and say, guess what, Neil? I end up not only fully transitioning, but also I end up with a ginger guy. I'm sure he'd go, wow, big surprise. Not that one of Neil's friends was ginger and I had any kind of type of crush on him at all, you understand. I didn't. Well, a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, let's have some more readings. What do you say? We've been going for an hour. I don't know how many we've done. I think we've done 4 or 5. 3, 2, 5, some number. So if you would like a reading, go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. If you would like to guarantee that I do your reading next, you have to go up here. buymeacoffee.com beyond authentic. Why have we not got one of those things where you can do it on YouTube on your phone and just go pay, do. It's not because I'm worried about YouTube taking its 45% cut. It's because we are not monetized on this channel. We are not monetized yet, right? We are, yes, we're over 1,000 subscribers, but we're not there with watch time. So it's the watch time on all the videos that aren't live streams. My watch time isn't enough to get us to that 4,000 hours, unfortunately. And until we get there, I can't make it easier for all of you to QJump a reading or to give thanks and those sort of things. The minute that YouTube offers that for accounts like ours, the minute I'll be able to offer that, and you'll be able to do that without having to go somewhere else. But if you would like a reading that is guaranteed to be the next one, the next cab off the rank, the next one that I call, and to be a little bit longer than just a 3 card, do go over here. You can book it as a QJump. It's on the main screen, I believe, or the extras tab, or the shop tag. I can't remember what it's called, but just click on that. You can see it says QJump, and you'll be able to do that. Oh, we're miles away with the watch hours, Holland, absolutely miles away. Bye, Renata. Look at that. You did it when I was on the chat section rather than doing on a reading, so I could say goodnight properly. Good night, my darling. I hope you have a good night's sleep. And yeah, happy Letha, summer solstice, whatever it is for you, my darling, coming up. Happy midsummer. Hopefully we'll speak to you soon, and hopefully you'll be able to join us on a podcast soon. We have got, by the way, talking about the podcast, the last episode is up. It came out on Friday, so if you haven't seen that yet, it's all about my dragons. You know, when I ring the bell when I say dragons, what the hell is a dragon apart from a mythical beast? You can find out on the podcast. It's also really interesting if you are into or want to know more about chaos magic, egregores, servitors, sigils, thought forms, tulpas, all of that. We cover it, and we give you a lot of information and a lot of good tips on the podcast. So if you would like that, have a little look-see on the channel. Also, the next podcast, we may well have a guest. Oh yeah, may well have a guest for the next one. And then Holland, if you would like to come on board for either July or August podcast, let us, well, it'll be August podcast at the earliest, won't it? So yeah, if you'd like to come on board for August, Holland, then please do come and have a look. No, the lives, unfortunately, the lives are really, people come on for an average of about 15 minutes. So they come on, get their reading, go away, come back 10 minutes later, catch, you know, just the end of a person's reading and then come back on. So that tends to be what happens. But yes, anyway, everybody, I am going to open up the list here. So go ahead, put your question in, start with the, Julie, you don't know what connotation that has on the channel, my darling. I mean, you could be. It'll be very interesting if one of them had hived off to that extent. I mean, I haven't lost contact with any of them, so maybe. But yeah, if you would like to, go ahead and put in the comment section now. Put the word question, put your question in the comments. I'm going to give you about 30 to 40 seconds. I'm going to play you a couple of little quick videos because YouTube, I know that there is a delay between me pressing this and it going out. So it's going to be 2 quick videos supporting 2 very good friends of mine who are both have Etsy shops, and in fact are both on this channel right now. So if you would like to support them, Etsy is where to go. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, it's going to be literally 40 seconds. But if you would like to get your question in for the next person that gets their question read, the next tarot reading, just put it in the live chat now, starting with your word question. In fact, I'll do that in just a second. So here we go. 40 seconds. Do it now.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necroneil.
Absolutely. Both of those little businesses, small businesses that are on Etsy, I 100% can recommend. Okay, Holland, who is a moderator on this channel as Curious Holland runs Blue Chalice, and they've got all sorts of wonderful things over there. If you like wall hangings, altar tiles, jewelry, witchy stuff, witch bells, lots of really interesting witchy things, go and check that channel out. Go and check that site out. Etsy, just look for Blue Chalice. If you like 80s horror, schlocky horror, all of that sort of, you know, some of the really cheesy ones where it was like tomato ketchup effects, all of that, the most amazing bottom shelf horror. If you like that, I totally recommend going and picking yourself up some issues of Necronomicon on Etsy. Look for Necroneil on Etsy for that. And I've got a little bit of sneak. I don't even know whether I'm supposed to announce this, but I have been told by a little birdie, little friend of mine, little tiny little hint. The next one, which would be issue 50, may or may not have been started, so that might be coming sooner than we thought. 50 issues, my god, that's amazing. So yeah, if you want to, please do go and recommend both of those little business. Please do go and support those little businesses. I can totally recommend them. The people behind them are wonderful, ethical people, very, very, very good folks to buy things from. And if you would like to support them, that's how you do it. Right, let's have a look. The next reading is, what am I seeing? First of all, I'm seeing Peacock. Hang on. Peacock. Why did he keep wanting to date me if he only wanted a platonic friendship? Interesting question, my darling. Interesting question. Right, let's have a look then. I don't know why I've got Rocky theme in my head, but I do. Why has that just jumped in my head? It's got to be connected because I've not thought anything about Rocky. Unless we're talking Rocky the Dragon? I don't know. That's really interesting. Why has that appeared in my head? Dragons, take it off now. Thank you very much. Why have we just got Rocky's theme? Anyway, why did he keep wanting to date me if he only wanted a platonic friendship? So dragons. Let's have a look. Peacock wants to know, why did he continue to date you if he only wanted a platonic friendship? Oh, hang on. What's going on? Right. Okay. We do have Rocky, good evening. Why are you here? Why have I got what? Hang on. Right. Hang on. There's something that the dragons don't like about this. There is something they don't like about this, Peacock. Rocky is awoken. So go and check the podcast thing out. Rocky on for our purposes on this channel very rarely appears. He's like, he's not happy. He's like a bit curmudgeonly, sorry, but you are a bit curmudgeonly, but he's very much protective, right? There is something here that he really doesn't like, really doesn't like he never appears, literally it's not the hairs on the back of my neck, but there's just this weight, like the air in here feels heavy. It's really weird, and I've had the Rocky theme tune going around my head for literally since I started this. So something he doesn't like is here, right? Just bear that in mind. We've got the granddaddy dragon, so literally the big boss man. The granddaddy dragon is here for your reading, so that's going to be incredibly interesting. Right then, so Rocky, why did this guy keep dating Peacock if all he wanted was a friendship? Two of Cups reversed, right? Clarifying card, thank you. We don't often get clarifyings. Okay, we don't often get clarifyings with Rocky. Interesting. The Two of Cups, I mean, we don't often get Rocky on the stream, but the Two of Cups reversed. This is really, there was a connection and then it went. So I think there was, look at it upright. There was a connection that was more, and then it petered off somehow, right? As soon as we get a card flip, we spin it. So, I mean, we don't spin it. As soon as we get a card flip, we do the cut. That's what I was trying to say. Yes, Rocky, I am doing it professionally. We are professionals here. So we've got the Magician. This is in the Where You Are Now. What you need to know, the Queen of Pentacles. And the opportunity, we've got the Flaming Empress again. Right, okay. So, well, why that is a little bit off center, but anyway, right. So, in the past, the Magician, it feels like this should be reversed, right? Because the thing about the Magician is it's normally talking about your energy, but I think this is talking about his energy, because the Magician is a manipulator, right? Normally it's really positive because the Magician manipulates the world around them to make it better for you, right? So in other words, Rufus, oh, hang on 1 second, I just need to holler for a coffee. Oh, it's fine, we've got 45 minutes. I can wait 45 minutes. But the Magician is all about manifesting and making the world around you, using all the tools of your existence, using all your experience, everything, and actually making something of it, right? But this has come up in the Where You Are Now. So it could be that you are your own magician here, but it also feels like, because we're wanting to know what he is doing, why he's wanting to date you, it feels manipulative. I can't shake that feeling. Again, Rocky only tends to appear when when it's a bit more serious, if that makes sense. I'm not saying that Wispy doesn't have things seriously, but it's a bit more deeper. So if this is because this is where you are now, if this is about you, then it means you now have this ability to make your world, to shape your world around you, right? So it's saying that you've got the tools, you've got the ability, you can literally create your universe, manifest your universe the way you want it to be. So if there are goals and things that you would like to achieve, now's a really good time to do it away from him, right? Away from him. So that's really, really important. If this is about his connection, then it's manipulation. So this is where that can have a very distinct, different meaning. In the What You Need to Know, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. So this is saying there is a very strong feeling of either financial support or financial growth, I guess. So the Pentacles is about work, career, finances, but there is something, I mean, just look how wonderful this character looks like Angela Bassett, who was one of my favorite actresses. I love Angela Bassett. But this is like her in Wakanda Forever, very regal, very, very in power. So this is talking about that. What you need to know is I think it's saying that you need to assert your queen dominance. This is that Beyonce queen energy I was talking about earlier. This is that you really need to be able to assert your boss ass self, because this is what you need to know. And I think, like, I don't know whether this workplace thing is where you and Em have met or what this workplace connection is, but there is definitely something here where it's feeling like, look, there was a moment of connection, but then it split. If this card is referencing what M wants, then he saw you as the queen, right? He saw you as the queen. And quite often, I used to be quite well known in certain areas, and so I used to get into nightclubs and bars and things for free, and I used to get, you know, preferential treatment and sort of VIP area stuff and all that rubbish, which, you know, as you can probably all tell by now, is got nothing to do with me in any way, shape or form. Like, for it doesn't really matter to me. It's nice. But I once had a partner desperately try to be with me because he wanted to get into nightclubs, free drinks, free VIP bars, right? So if this is not a work connection, then it's something to do with either if he perceives you as having money, or he perceives, I mean, that could be it, you know, that could be it. Like, he could perceive you as being financially a bit more secure, and then the minute that he realizes that maybe you're not as financially flush for cash, that he then loses that connection. I don't know whether it's a work or whether it's a money connection, but there's definitely something here where you are the queen with the power and the money. If it's work related, then it means he can get with you to get a bump somehow. Do you know what I mean? If it's financial, then it's because he wants what you've got. That again is backed up by this Empress being reversed. This is the opportunity card. I think you escaped with I think you got a lucky escape, sorry, is the phrase here, because what you the opportunity, sorry, for the Empress is reversed. So that means there's no with childness, not that this card tends to represent that, but also this is talking about abundance, and again, a certain amount of financial growth and stability. And so this is saying that actually, I honestly think you've got away with a lucky escape here, because I think, I don't know how much this cash element is coming into play, but there's a definite pattern here, my darling, with the Empress being about abundance. I mean, it could also be, right, because this is reversed, it could also be, to be honest, that he doesn't want his money leaking, or he doesn't want you to see him as a meal ticket. I mean, that could be something. I mean, oh gosh, right, hang on, let me change camera, because change the camera before you move it, otherwise everybody gets seasick. Right, now listen, I don't want to say, I wouldn't, you can tell I'm hedging my bets, right? I do not want to believe that any of my viewers would possibly be like this, but I have to say what is being given, right? He could perceive you as a gold digger. I don't know why I'm getting that, but the connection here between this queen, so it's like a perceived financial thing, and then this Empress being reversed. This is about, if it's not about the maternal, then it's about the abundance, right? It's literally that, for me, is what the queen tends to the Empress tends to represent. For me, it's more about that abundance level. So it could well be that if he's more secure than you, then it could well be that he's worried about you draining that abundance because of this reversal. So it's either a drain or a... But then why is it coming up in the opportunity? I think it is literally the opportunity is saying that you've got a lucky escape, because I honestly feel like he was almost testing you with something, because the magician can also be seen as a test. Does that make sense? So the magician could also be seen as a test, because it's got this element of testing your abilities to it, like using the tools around you to create something, doing that test. I honestly think there was a connection, right? I honestly think there was a genuine connection, and then something happened. Now that something is to do with work, career, or finances, because we've got this Queen of Pentacles and then we've got this Empress reverse. There is something here about a threat or a perceived threat to do with work, career, or finances. So if you work together, it may be that you can't date because of the work business. If you've got more money than him, it could be that you were like, you can, you buy me dinner because you're taking me out. If it's that he's got more money than you, then it's like, it's almost like you did the reverse, saying, oh, well, you've got loads of money, I'll have a lobster dinner with champagne. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a bit hard to know exactly what that is, but I honestly think you've got a lucky escape, either because he was after your money or he perceived you as being after his. I don't know which way round that is, but whatever it is, you've done well to avoid it. Right, let me go into the... No, thank you. Why do I always click on the wrong screen? Hang on. That's shocking, because no one pays your bills. Absolutely. I'm not saying you are a gold digger. Absolutely, I'm not saying you are. But it's how he might perceive it. So if he's got money, it's that thing, isn't it? What was I watching? I was watching something, and it had a this is what's making me think that he's got money, because I was watching something and now I've got this image in my head. It was on YouTube. It was one of the trashy programs, or one of those sort of thingies, and it was some rich white guy complaining how he can never find a date because all the women he dates, they're just interested in his money. And then he shows you like, oh yeah, but if I get with someone, she's got to have long blonde hair, big boobs, small waist, blah 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 blah, she's got to have, and it's like, well, hang on, to maintain that there's got to be finances. So like, you're asking for somebody to always look their best, blah blah blah, well then you've got to pay for that upkeep, you know what I mean? And that is what came to my mind. And then it was like, he was worried about gold diggers. And so then it's that thing of, oh, I don't think Peacock's a gold digger, but it's that sort of energy. And you know how sometimes, thank you, I know, thank you, I can see, but thank you. Oh, hang on, oh, you were in a low phase financially. That's what it is then. That is absolutely what it is. Thank you. That is what it is. So if you were at a lower place financially, he has the money. That's what it is. If you don't work together, then I think he's at a much more boss level position. If not, it's because he was worried about you taking his money, honestly. And I think there was a genuine connection. And I keep getting this image of a dinner. So I don't know whether this is, you went to dinner, he paid for everything, or maybe he was testing you. Maybe you were supposed to say, oh, let's go Dutch, or whatever it is. And that didn't happen. But it's almost like something as mundane as that put him off. And that's why that Two of Cups came up reversed. So yeah, I mean, if you are a gold digger, fine, go get your coin. But if not, then yeah. Right. Honestly, I think that's what it is. I think that's why it went, oh, I'm interested. And then, oh no, let's just be friends. Because friends, you can kind of, you don't have to financially support friends. Not that you have to financially support your other half, but there's more of a distance there. I'm glad we got that, because that Queen of Pentacles was confusing coming up with the Empress reverse, because it's like saying you've got money with the Queen and then this abundance is not there. So right, I'm glad I got that. Right then, let's do, thank you for that, Peacock, thank you for confirming that. Otherwise I would have been going, what is it, what is this, what is it, what's going on? So yeah, no, again, Peacock, honestly, I'm not saying you have, but if he has dated in the past other women that were like, oh, you've got a nice car, you wear nice suits, or you wear expensive aftershave even, right? Certain people get drawn to that who are gold diggers, and so he might have experienced that in the past, and then all it can take is one little comment, an innocent comment from you, or like you might mention, you know, oh, my gas bill came through today, oh, I'll wait till it comes through on red and then I'll pay it. And it could be something as simple as that he's then picked up as, she ain't got no money to pay for her bills, that's why she's with me. You know what I mean? It could be something that simple. So yeah. Anyway, let's have a look. So then we're going, hang on, I've got, where's, there we go. There we go. My mouse isn't, do these take batteries? Oh, it does. I might need to change the battery. My mouse is getting a little bit sticky. Right then, so it's time for more questions. If you would like a question, what do you have to do? Oh, I don't know what you have to do. If you would like a tarot question, what can you do on this channel? How can you get a tarot question? If only there was a way of answering. Yes, indeed. Right, I'm jumping on Buy Me a Coffee, waiting for that to update. Right, we haven't got a QJump, so I'm going to click on the chat and I will go to the first one I'm drawn to, which is Patricia. Oh, no. Oh, we've got no questions. Oh, Claire. Right, Claire, I've got yours. There you go. Sometimes, what does that say, Julie? Sometimes we can be too honest and others take it as needy. Absolutely. Leave him to chase you if he wants you. Yeah, absolutely. And also, just to finish up, sorry, Claire, I'll get onto you in just a second. But also, Peacock, don't forget, if you end up being platonic, he might then realize after a little while that you're not that way, and that you were just in a financial dip and you were just moaning about it at dinner or whatever it may be. And then he might come round again and go, oh, I'm interested. But if he does that, he ain't worth it. He ain't worth it, love. Don't give him any more of your energy. If he thinks you're a gold digger, give him something to go dig or whatever. Right. Anyway, let's have a look, Claire. Question, what does my future hold? Also, thank you, Rocky. Thank you. I don't know why Rocky appeared, but anyway. Dragons, I'm sticking with this deck, you know. I know I was going to use the other ones tonight, but I'm sticking with this. Dragons, Claire would like to know, what does my future hold? Let's have a look. So then, let's switch over to card cam. Bum ba dum bum, card cam. Oh, don't start singing randomly, Lisa. You'll end up invoking various other dragons. Right. Let's not do that. Right then. So, what does Claire's future hold? Let me just get off the chat. There we go. Got no live chat up. Good, fabulous. Hang on. There we go. Fabulous. So, what does Claire's future hold, dragons? That's 2. We don't count it if it's 2 normally, unless it's like, oh, deeply intense and they flip and fly and everything. That's 3. Right. Wispy. Oh, gosh. I really hope you all go and watch the podcast, because, like, otherwise you just think I'm slowly going insane doing the tarot readings, talking about the way that Wispy acts. But go watch the podcast. You'll understand. Oh gosh, I've just got this impression of somebody coming in for the first time and listening to me going, oh, dragons, oh, stop flipping all the cards. Right, last round, dragons, last round. There we go. One more. Right, last. There we go. Right, 1 card. Thank you, Wispy. That was literally your last chance to do that. Oh, no. Oh, why do I do that all the time? Right, there we go. So we're going to cut the deck. What is this? What's flipped? Oh, I haven't seen this one. I haven't seen this one for a long time. The Queen of Swords reversed. Interesting. So some challenges ahead, my darling. Possibly with an older woman. Possibly something else going on. We'll have a look. I love, oh, sorry, holding it at the wrong angle. I love the crow right up there, look, because that is the symbol for this. And you can see the Queen is holding a very ornamental sword. Look at that. Right, but that did come out reverse, which means it's not necessarily coming from you. We'll have a look and see what the cards say. Right, so we'll do your drop. Fabulous, 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 fabulous. Page of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Magician reversed this time. Now that's interesting because the Magician just came up in the last deck the right way up. So interesting. We're getting repeat cards in different roles. So let's have a look. What does your future hold? We will go past, present, future, I guess. So with the Queen of Wands overlooking things, of the obstacles, your past, we've got the Page of Pentacles. So this would seem to be, it's more to do with work. Pages are very young energy. I think this is more money, actually. Pages are very young energy, could be quite studenty energy. So I don't know whether you have children around you or whether you are a student yourself. I don't know anybody's ages and things, of course. But it's an interesting card in terms of where you've been. So the page is quite, for me, it's quite young. It's that sort of innocent, naive energy. Okay. So it could be that there's been a naivety or a naivety when it comes down to money or career or that financial, like bills and things. It could be there's been a certain amount of innocence there. Through the prism of the Queen of Swords, I don't know whether this is you or whether this is actually representing somebody else. So it could be a mother figure, an aunt figure, boss figure, even somebody in some sort of position of authority, because she is a queen. Now, in this instance, it's saying that the challenges are coming from her, but with positive meaning, if that makes sense. Because literally what is, hang on, I don't want to renew my Windows to 11. No, I will do that. And wait, there we go. Remind me another day. So what was I saying? I'm completely forgotten. So yes, it's talking about basically this person, I don't think is trying to do it in a negative way, in a harmful way. I think she's genuinely trying to help and trying to almost educate. But yeah, definitely an issue with naivety when it comes to either work or finances. In the present position, we've got the Two of Wands. Now this is good. So this is a connection. It feels like it's probably a connection with this person that's happening, and this Two of Wands is making you want to explore, wanting you to go and, you know, maybe to travel, because we've got the globe and we've got a picture of a VW camper van. So it might be that this is talking about going off and, you know, learning something, you know, getting that wanderlust going. So it could be something like that. It could be also preparing you somehow for the future, which again would be this Queen's role, is somehow trying to get you prepared for what lies ahead. Excuse me. I normally silence that. I do apologize. I just needed a drink. So yeah, it honestly feels like there is a lot of growth for you right now in the present, and it's leading into this position here in the future, which is the Magician, which is that you've got control over your life. But again, this is reversed. I question who this person is. So if it's a mother figure or a teacher figure, then again, that's quite interesting. But it's quite this person is challenging you and is waiting to see what happens if you step up to those challenges. Okay, so even though she's reversed, I don't think it's out of malice. I don't think it's out of like any negative thought at all. I think it's genuinely trying to see, to teach you some kind of lesson, not in a, I'll teach you, you little shitbag, but in much more of a, this is a life lesson to learn. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. It's far more in the stern teacher role, almost sort of tough love role, rather than being, you know, malevolent, rather than somebody going, I will get you. The magician coming up here in the future is really interesting because, again, it's reversed. Now, normally that would indicate manipulation, but I think this is something else. I think this is you starting to learn to control your own life and control your own experiences. It feels very much like there is a linear journey here. Look, if we take the queen off and just put her to one side, you've got this journey where you start off quite young, quite innocent, quite immature, not as in like childish, but childlike, immature in the fact that you just haven't got that much experience of this. Now, this is workplace or money. We then go to the Two of Wands, which is showing you having a connection that is going to help you grow your confidence, get you some big plans for the future, looking out the window at what else is out there, what the world has to offer, and in fact inspiring this element of, you know, wanting to go and discover things for yourself. And then we've got the magician. So in this instance, with it being reversed, it's almost like you're unsure of your own abilities. So this is teaching you to get more experience and have more faith in your own abilities. Overall, we've got this challenging kind of maternal stroke educational figure that is coming into play and putting challenges in there to kind of wake you up from this innocence through to this. So this can be equated almost like the fall in that level of innocence, and the journey we go from, literally, it's like from the 0 card to the first card. It's like we go from this position of innocence to this position of knowledge through learning certain lessons. I don't know whether that helps, my darling, but let me come and click on the no, click on the chat. Let's have a once again, I keep forgetting to change this camera, you know. That's the third, fourth time that I nearly just switched cameras without it coming up. Let's have a look. Oh, have you said? Nope, you've not said out. You'll watch live on the replay. Okay, Nanette, have you gone, Nanette? Hopefully you're still here for me to say goodbye. Bye, Nanette. I'll probably catch you on one of your lives at like 4 a.m. in the UK, because you tend to go live and when it's really late here. You haven't commented, Claire, but hopefully you can take that, my darling. Men sometimes like to have their cake and eat it. What's that about? Oh, that's probably about Peacock's reading, wasn't it? Yeah. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'm not sure who that Queen of Swords is in your case. I don't think it's an element of yourself. It doesn't feel like a, you know, a tulpa, or like it's a part of your own identity that you've that you're unaware of. I do think it's external because of that reversal. So yeah, hopefully you can take that, my darling. All I would say is remember that the challenges are not done out of malice. The challenge is literally trying to teach you so that you can improve as you go. The methodology might be a bit awkward. The methodology might be a bit like ruffling feathers the wrong way, but overall, hopefully that helps. Oh, thanks, Julie. Right, so we've got 10 people left on the stream. I don't know how many readings we've done tonight, but we're going to crack on with some more. Hopefully, if you are still here in the live, it means you do want to have a reading. Don't forget, everybody, that there are certain YouTube-y things that can help this channel out big time. What are they? Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. And then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ding your bell, and make sure your settings are changed to all. That way YouTube should notify you each and every time I upload a video. But if you would like to support myself and this channel just a little bit more, you can always go across to buymeacoffee.com/BeyondAuthentic, where you can in fact buy me a coffee. Thanks so much for those of you choosing to support me. Yes, indeed. So that is just over here. Let me go and double check actually in case anybody has QJumped. If you do use the QJump option, do me a favor and just pop that into the comments on the live so that I can see it and I can just go and double check. So yes, right then, let's have a look. See if you would like a reading, go ahead and put the word question followed by your question into the live chat. Go ahead and do that now. And I will read for someone after this. There we go, indeed. Let's have a look in the live chat. Oh, we've only got one question. It's from Julie. Julie, I've already read for you tonight, my darling, so I won't be able to read for you again tonight. Oh, Peacock, thank you for that message. He was confusing you and hurting you. Now it feels like a load has been lifted off your head. So grateful. Thanks, Rocky. Oh, no worries. Rocky is the big granddaddy of them all. Go and look at the podcast. Honestly. He was the original dragon. And yeah, absolutely. If he's come out, you know it's an important one. So yeah. Right. I think then if everybody that wants readings has had readings, apart from Julie, because I can only do one per person per night, my darling. But you can come back next week. We're live on Tuesday and we're live on Sunday. Okay, right. Thank you, mods. I was gonna finish early then. It's not a problem. Right, so I've got Ed and Patricia's questions in, so we'll go ahead and do those. I've got an itchy kneecap just on the side of my knee. I don't know what that means. I know sometimes if you've got itchy palm, itchy palm, it means money going or money coming. But I don't think kneecaps have the same thing, do they? But yes, right. Okay, let's have a look. So Ed, dragons, we're going to do Ed's question. Ed would like to know, dragons, why has the question not come up? Hang on a second. Right, let's do that. And then why did the question not pull up then? I did click on it. There you go. And I'm going to start Patricia's one just in case we get a lot of comments and it disappears from the comment feed, and then click off the comments altogether. Right, there we go. Ed. So, dragons. Don't know why the dogs are barking. Ed would like to know, how will the coffee... Put that in the wrong way around then. How will the coffee go with tea? It's a bit confusing, Ed. Are you having coffee or are you having tea? I know, right? You'd like to have tea, but maybe coffee you should start with. Oh, dear. Right. Oh, gosh. That was really lame, but also it did tickle me. I know, right? There was a 13-year-old in me somewhere that laughs at fart jokes and all of that. You know, the toilet humor. There is a little 13-year-old still within me that still finds all of that funny. So yeah, right, dragons, how will the coffee go with tea and Ed? That's what we'd like to know. So we're going to do I'll tell you what, we'll do a 3-card, but it will be the 3-card where you are, what you need to know, an opportunity. We'll do that one. I like that spread a lot. There we go. That's the drop. So then let's have a look-see. So where you are, the Knight of Wands, interesting. What you need to know. We've got the Tower reversed, interesting. And, oh God, The 7 of Wands coming up for the opportunity. I tell you what, hang on a second. Right. I'm actually doing something that I despise people doing when they are reading for the public. And I'm going to the little white book purely because what I want to do is I want to get their definition of this 7 of Wands, because it doesn't inspire. Challenging, grounding, no, hang on, challenge, oh fuck's sake, glasses, right. Let me see what this, because it doesn't connect with what I know, like in other decks for the 7 to be trying to tell me. So it is movement, growth, creative innovation, remaining ahead, feeling vulnerable, a sign to continue to share your ideas and self-expression. So I don't get that from this. I don't get that from this. Talking about, no, I don't get that from this. You see, for me, this is talking about connecting and having this confidence. This bubble is almost like the mirrored field, and confidence, and it's talking more about they'll emerge only after you've made it to your perch. Haters will emerge. I mean, possibly, actually, I guess I don't know. It's this one card. Whenever it comes up, I'm always like, oh, that doesn't feel like the 7s normally feel, and the 7 of Wands for me. But anyway, right, let's crack on. So in your where you are now, we've got the Knight of Wands. You're feeling a bit confident now, Ed. You're starting to feel a bit confident. You're not there fully in terms of the king energy, but you've got that knight energy. Now, this isn't that rebellious teenage. This feels like it's that first flush of confidence that you get in teenagers. You've got the fire is lit. Literally, look at the fires. Look at the fire symbols. So you've got this fire lit within you. You've got this stallion, wild stallion. And Bill and Ted now. Now I'm doing Bill and Ted. You've got this stallion energy that's there, right? So there is definitely this strong driving energy here. It feels really positive. This feels like you are absolutely gaining this confidence that to actually not just ask her out, but to actually go on a date with her. So it feels really good that you're finding this position. In the what you need to know, don't worry about everything coming down around you, right? Stop worrying about that, because this is reversed. So it's saying if it was this way up, it would be like, beware, lots of things, like you have to knock everything down before you rebuild, all of that. But this is really talking about, look, if things change, it doesn't always mean it's a negative, right? If things happen, it doesn't always mean that it's the worst possible experience, right? Sometimes things need to change in order to change and adapt and grow. Now, hang on, let me click on. So this is really talking a bit about that. It's talking about, excuse me, it's talking about finding that, finding the good in a situation that might be feeling a bit uneven, if that makes sense, because the tower quite often is built on sand, right? So we know that with the tower, the foundations are not always as solid as they can be. So there is something here that's a little bit warning, like be careful you've not built this up to be more than it is. So which I would say in your case, Ed, you know, that does have merit. So just be careful that you haven't built everything up to be more than it is. So just be very mindful of that going into this coffee. But it does also feel quite good in terms of what you need to know is that even if things go really badly for the coffee, I think you're still going to be okay. So even if you absolutely make a prize tit of yourself, you know, you sit down, you pour your coffee all over the table, you know, accidentally light up a cigarette inside the cafe, even though you've not been able to do that for 20 years, you know, you accidentally call her, you know, by your ex's name, you know, you turn up dead casual and she's in like a really posh date outfit. You know what I mean? It's like whatever happens that goes wrong, where there's a miscommunication, don't worry about it, because it's going to be fine, right? Just be aware of that. Whatever happens, the worst possible thing that can happen, it's not going to be too bad, because this is actually reversed, right? So there's going to be more opportunities ahead. I don't think, like, if the worst possible thing, you call her the wrong name, you realize halfway through that you've drunk cow milk instead of non-dairy, and all of a sudden your guts explode, and you spend the last half of the day talking to her through the toilet door while you're, releasing everything that you've possibly ever eaten in the last 4 days. You know what I mean? Nothing is going to go that badly, and even if it does go the worst possible way, it's still going to you're still going to be okay, because this reversal is saying, look, just don't mind it, right? Don't mind it. It needs to change to go forward. So hopefully that helps. And then we get to the opportunity, which is this 7. So this opportunity would be talking about, you see, I don't, it's talking about grounding, right? And it's talking about grounding yourself and protecting yourself. But normally for me, the 7s are about things being taken away as well. So I'm glad I've double checked in the book, because this really is talking about protection. The opportunity is going to be there to kind of, how can I put this? I think the opportunity is going to be for you both to move forward, for you to feel more confident about this burgeoning friendship going into something else, going into maybe, full-on dating territory. I think it's going to make you feel a lot more sure of yourself, and also like this sacral energy vibe. This to me is talking about this intestinal fortitude that I've said before. It really does feel like this particular card is a lot more positive than the 7 of Wands in a normal deck. Do you know what I mean? And it feels like, yes, there's going to be a certain amount of you maybe retreating back into your bubble, but not out of necessity, but almost out of, shit, that went really well, now I'm nervous. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that was lovely, I really enjoyed that. No, I'm nervous because the next date's going to be, do you know what I mean? So it feels like things are going to go okay. Right, dragons, I've got one more to do after this. So dragons, we want one card, top card. What is going to happen on the date? Is it a positive? Is it a negative? What is going to happen on this date? That's what we want to know, the actual things that are going to happen. We've got Page of Cups. Oh, bonding, new innocent romantic energy. Innocent romantic energy. You may feel like you're a 15-year-old again, Ed. You may feel like a 15-year-old going, would you like to go out with me? Because, like, hello, I mean, would you like to go out with me? Oh, my voice is breaking, I'm so nervous. You know what I mean? It's like you are going to feel like a 15-year-old boy again, where you're literally like there's love energy and everything else, but it's like passing notes in school. That is very much what it feels like, my darling. So yeah. Hopefully that's really good. It feels good. It feels like you're doing something really that it's going to go positive. It does feel like there's going to be a bit of a moment somewhere there where you're going to think, oh my God, everything's just gone tits up. But don't worry about it. Whatever happens, don't worry about it. If you make a complete fool of yourself, you'll just come across as, a little bit nervous, but you're not going to come across as being a complete klutz. And if you are, then it's fine, because she's going to like that about you. So there you go. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully, my darling, that helps. So yeah, don't feel any pressure. Like whatever happens, even in the worst case scenario where you end up sat on the loo for 15 minutes of the half-hour date or whatever it is, don't worry too much about it, because it absolutely feels like, oh no, not stop camera, there we go. It absolutely feels like it's going to be fine. You can overcome it. And with that, my darling, I hope that helps. I really do. Saga, we've only got one more question in, my darling, and that's already from our lovely Patricia. So that is There we go, Ed. Thank you. So that is the next one up. So here we go. Right then, Patricia, dragons. Our lovely Patricia would like to know, will her son be okay? That's what we want to know, dragons. Will Patricia's son be okay? Let's see what we've got. So we get... Did you see that? That bloody card is going to haunt me now. I'm going to have to sit down with that card and meditate on it. Meditate on the 7 of Wands to see what this particular version and this particular deck is desperately trying to tell me, because it keeps coming up. And every time I get that disconnect, every single time. So we're going to discover that. We're going to discover it for ourselves. Right. So then, dragons. Will Patricia's son be okay? That's what we want to know. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with Patricia's son. We don't know whether it's a legal thing, a financial thing, a counselling thing or a medical thing, or whether it's just like, you know, what will happen in general. Oh, gosh. Sagar, unfortunately, we've got no more questions in. This stream finishes in 5 or 10 minutes, my darling. After this is the last reading tonight, my love. So we will be back on Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, and then we will be back on Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time. So if you would like a reading, pop back on those times. Other than that, if you go up here to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, you can book a reading there, or you can even go here to beyondauthentic.co.uk, where you can go over there and book a reading there as well, my darling. So hopefully either of those options will be available to you. Right then, I'll leave that one on screen so you can get that information. Right then, Patricia, let's do your cut. There we go. Oh, that bottom card wanted to come in then. Maybe we'll have a look at, maybe I'll tell you what, we'll keep that bottom card just to one side, because that's interesting, because it tried to fall. So, will your son be okay? So we'll go where he is now, what he needs to know, his future. Where he is now, Knight of Pentacles. What he needs to know, King of Pentacles. I did say what's in his future, didn't I, rather than opportunity, but what's in his future? The Two of Swords. Right. Okay, my darling. So in where he is now, Knight of Pentacles reversed. So instantly this is telling me that there is a financial a work or financial childishness. Because this way up with the Knight, it's all about childishness. This is that thing of not thinking about repercussions, but, you know, going ahead and doing things anyway. So slightly jumping in where angels fear to tread, slightly kind of that vibe of act first, think later. It's that sort of vibe of what he's up to. Now, this could be work or money, as I say, or it could just be the amount of effort that's being put into something. As soon as this card came out, I was like, that's a work thing. Interesting that the Pentacles came out after that. It could also... Is it work? I don't actually... Hang on. As soon as I said it's a work thing, it's like, no, it's money. It's specifically about money. And I don't know why. This isn't work related. This is money related, finance, not career. So yeah, he's spending, or has been. This could be that there's debt involved, or something like that. Something like that. Some sort of debt, some sort of financial outlay that is, it's almost like, right, so what I'm getting with this, in all honesty, Patricia, is at 4 a.m. in the morning, I have been known to go on Amazon and Etsy and, well, not so much Etsy, but I've been known to go on Amazon and eBay, that's the thing I was looking for, and just go randomly searching for things. And then when something comes up on my phone, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll buy that. I don't look at what's in my bank balance. I don't think about, oh, this week I've got this money coming out. I need to pay for my, Disney Plus, and I need to pay for the internet. Not for the internet. I need to pay for the editing software. I need to pay for my StreamYard. All of that is coming out like in the next week before I get paid. Therefore, I need to maybe not buy that tarot deck or 15 bottles of coffee syrup. Maybe this is not the week to do that. However, I don't think about that. I literally just go, oh, no, scrolling. Oh, I'll buy that. Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah, I'll buy that. And that is my biggest annoyance with my ADHD, right? And I'm not saying that he's ADHD, but there's a certain element. As soon as that came up, it's like there is some kind of instant gratification for money, if that makes sense. Like he's spending where he shouldn't be spending. He's spending willy-nilly. He's doing things in a way that isn't thinking about this long-term pattern. What he needs to know, this is not the way to get to be a king. This is not the way. You can't go throwing money away, literally like lighting cigarettes with £20 notes is kind of, you can't do that and get to the point where you've got lots of money. Like being a successful business person, being successful in your career, having money, being successful on the stock trades, whatever it is that the money is, he hasn't got, by doing this, it isn't going to lead here. So there is definitely something that, where he is, what he needs to know. Yeah, there is definitely something here that he might think he's like living this, setting things up for this lifestyle. Do you know what it feels like? Do you remember when one of the Paul brothers, can't remember which one it is because they're both the same, one of them was hyping on about this Bitcoin bollocks and was releasing videos after videos about, I think they invented their own version of Bitcoin, and then it all went tits up and they just like dropped it like a hot coal. It feels something like that. It's like he's wanting to achieve this certain position of money and or authority, but he's going about it completely the wrong way. It's like he's just doing things without any advice, because this could also be the advice from other kings, and it could be like, because it's what he needs to know, it could be that other people more experienced, more financially astute, higher in business, whatever that is, it's almost like Alan Sugar saying, don't invest in all these little cheap shit businesses, don't spend your money over here. And he's just basically going, yeah, whatever, because I don't feel that this is having an effect. So it's either he wants to get to be the king, or kings are saying don't do this and he's ignoring them. Either way, it's what he really needs to know, and he isn't, because we've got this bloody Two of Swords coming up. Now, this is in the opportunity position, but it's so linked into challenges and so linked into obstacles that I think it's almost like a butting of heads. So I don't know whether you've had disagreements with him over this, or whether the king has had disagreements over this. Now, the king could be family, could be boss, could be bank manager, financial advisor. It doesn't really, somebody else who's a millionaire, it doesn't really matter. But somebody is saying, don't do this. And it's like, this is causing a clash. Because this is all about how is he going to be okay. Excuse me. I think very firmly that although we've got this element here, it looks like a female, I think this is talking about him specifically, right? So I think he is, I don't know whether he's arguing with you or arguing with someone else, but there's definitely a coming together. But he cannot see it, my darling. So it's like the king is saying, don't put money into Bitcoin, it ain't going to work, for instance. And he's gone, oh, that's all right, I'll put all my money into Bitcoin because I think Bitcoin is the future. It's going to be really wonderful. And he's blinded to it. He's absolutely blindfolded by it. And I think this future, I think it could be a difficult time for him. In all honesty, I really, really do think it could be a difficult time. Right, we had the bottom card that wanted to come up, so I don't know what position this is going to be in, but it feels like it was desperate to be part of this reading. So we're going to put it here. 8 of Wands. Right, so overall then everything is up in the air. Oh, but it's reversed. So everything is up in the air not by choice. So it's not like he has, you know, the I haven't got the standard. I'm not going to pick it out. You know what the 8 of Wands looks like in a standard Rider-Waite, where it's through the window and they're all like lying up, you know, out the window. To me, that always talks about picking up the elements of your life and chucking them out the window, run down the stairs and pick up the ones you want to take forward. And there is still a certain element of that with this. It feels like his life is really out, not so much out of his control, but he hasn't got, it feels like he isn't very mature, right? Hang on. Yeah, you can tell when I get to a certain point, my voice changes and I go into caring reading mode. Not that I don't care normally, but you know what I mean. So it feels like this 8 of Wands is overall where he is, right? It feels like he's a bit chaotic, a bit all over the place, says me. And that Knight of Pentacles, it's almost like he's got 15 different projects all on at the same time, and he's trying to spread himself so thin, and he's investing in all of these different areas, even though the king is saying, look, the king is in his counting house counting all his money. Well, there ain't no money to count for this one. You know what I mean? This knight is not bringing in the revenue. And it feels like whatever's happening in the future position, because I said that was future mistakenly, but that's what we went with. It feels like those challenges are going to be quite difficult for a while. It feels like overall his life is a bit chaotic feeling right now. I don't think you're going to be the one to bring that back into balance, because it feels like the only one he's going to listen to is that king energy, even though he's not listening to it. Does that make sense? It's like eventually that king energy is going to break through, and that is going to be the thing that makes him realize, but not yet. Dragons, one more card from the top, a further outcome than we can see with the 2 of Swords. Bearing in mind 2 of Swords would take us up to July time, so it feels like there's a lot of upheaval happening at the moment. So post July, later in the summer, dragons, one card, top card, change it now if you need to. This is that Schrodinger's cat element. Change it if you need to, because once I pull it, that's what the card is. We've got Queen of Pentacles reversed. So again, don't you send him any money. Don't you send him any money. Do not send him any money. No. Instantly, this is like, you're going to step in and help out. No, you can't. He's not going to learn the lessons that way. I don't know whether you've got money to send him or money to give him, but don't. That Queen of Pentacles, just don't, right? This challenge is something, this he might argue with you, right? He might be arguing with you, Patricia, because he's gonna, oh God, right. I get the impression he's gonna say, it's almost like, you can afford it, help me out now. And it's even to the point, oh, dragons, right, take it off. We've gone way over time. Dragons, take it off. It's even to the point where it's almost like, wow. If he says this, then I want to slap him personally. But it's almost like he says, I'm going to get it when you die anyway, so give it to me now. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something really distasteful like that, where he's saying, and you're like, no, I'm not going to help you out now, because if I help you out now, you ain't never going to learn this lesson. You could even be the king in this scenario. But this queen, do not buy him out of the contracts or out of the shit that he's put himself in, because he will never, ever learn. And he'll get that money and piss it up the wall and then be back in the same situation in a year's time. So don't, really, don't do that. Like, and it's going to break your heart. But his life is too chaotic right now to ever be able to pay you back, because he's going to say it's a loan, and it won't be a loan. It'll be a loan that is never repaid. I'll be doing one more, Dragon. I'll be doing one more. We should have just done a 10 card, shouldn't we, for Patricia? Right, one more. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm being asked to draw one more card. So is this the outcome after the summer, or is this longer outcome or motive? Motive. Are we doing motive? Motive. It's motive. He's just after money. Just after money. He is after your money. I don't even think you've got money, but he's after it. It's reversed, so there is almost an element that he's finding himself in a position he didn't think he would be in, blah blah blah. But the motivation coming up as the devil, that is absolutely this fixation on material things, absolutely fixating on material things. He doesn't need money. He's after something. He is after something. All of these pentacles coming up. You're saying he doesn't need money. I think he does. I think there is whatever material things around him. I think stuff is on tick, or there are debts coming. There is something happening. There is something happening that is absolutely financial based, because you've got 3 pentacles and the devil, which is materialism. So there is absolutely something. It might not be that he there's definitely something I know, right? This feels like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. I'm not trying to say that at all. But it absolutely, if it isn't money, then it's something else that you've got that he wants, a physical thing. So if it isn't finances, then it's like you've got grandma's ruby earrings, or, great-great-grandpa's antique clock, or something. Like there is something that he is after from you that has intrinsic value. That devil is really worrying when it comes down to motivation. I mean, the other thing it could be related to, it could be related to something like addictions in some way. Because there's a certain element of chasing something. I don't mean like chasing the dragon, but there is a certain element of chasing something and going after something that is ultimately going to lead to his downfall. Right, dragons. We've got, hang on, let me just go back to this. We've got future, long term. That's where he is. That's the motivation. So the devil reversed for me is talking about that strong connection, that materialistic desire, that it could relate to a marriage. It could relate to addiction. It's that very, very strong feeling locked into something that you can't escape from. Right. We'll do dragons. Patricia's adamant it isn't money that he's after. So what is his motivation? We've got the devil, so that's talking about being pulled, being taken down a certain path, going down, you know, the darker paths in life, all of that. So let's have a look. We want to know a bit more clarity on what this devil card is pertaining to and what these pentacles mean. Okay, that's what we want to know, dragons. Is there another way of putting it that will help me get the clarification to pass on to Patricia? One card, top card. Yeah, this is Magician reversed is manipulative energy. So, by the way, everybody, if you're watching this, we've gone 15 minutes over because I'm doing, this is a reading for a very special person. There are no more readings tonight. We will be ending the stream straight after this one is done. But yeah, so that's what's happening. If you would like to book a reading, just you can go down there and book one, or you can go to buymeacoffee.com/beyond authentic. Right. From motivation, Patricia, we've got, this is where life is getting completely chaotic. The 8 of Wands. We've then got this fixation on the material from the devil, and being fixated in a way that almost feels out of control. So that fixation is either would suggest that he's either got himself into something he cannot get out of, he's signed contracts that he cannot cancel, he cannot undo, or it's that sort of addictive energy. And then we've got the Magician reversed, which is that trying to control everything, manipulate the world around him, trying to do the smoke and mirrors thing, saying that everything's okay when it's not, and saying that, you know, this isn't a problem when it is. Do you know what I mean? You agree with that? There's definitely an element here going on. I really don't mean to worry you, my darling, but it does feel like your question is, will your son be okay? And the cards are screaming at me that I think he's going to have a challenging 6 months ahead. It's going to be challenging. I think all you can do is offer him emotional support, nothing financial, nothing. Don't countersign anything for him. Don't guarantor anything for him. You know, don't go down that road. But I think emotionally, he's probably not going to be open to any input from you because of this, because of the devil card, because he's so fixated on whatever it is that he's doing. But yeah. Sorry, my darling. I really wish I could say that this was better news, but you know, the key thing on this channel is that we tell it as it is, and I try and keep to that authenticity with my readings, even when the news is not incredibly positive. So I do feel that he's going to have a rough period ahead. My intuitive reading is saying that he will realize where he's, that devil influence will be shifted, but it's going to take time, and only he's, oh god, it's such a crap thing and only he can see it until he can see it. Only he's going to be able to break out of that position while he's still going through it. There is something there that I think he absolutely needs to come to some sort of realization that his actions have consequences, and actually those consequences he has to deal with, rather than falling back on mum or falling back on other people to kind of mop it up for him. And it really does feel like at the end of the day, he will realize that, but it will take maybe 6 months, maybe longer. But I do think by the end of this year, things will certainly start to come to a head. And it feels like that devil influence will start to be lessened by that point. So yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling. I really hope that helps. Yeah, his life, his path, absolutely. I really wish I could, you know, turn a card and be like, oh, actually, look, everything's going to be wonderful, and actually it's all going to come out good. But you know, I barely see in any detail into next year without doing a 12-month particular spread, in which case it's almost too vague to be of any use. But it does feel like he will get. He'll get his comeuppance, is what I was going to say, and then I hesitated. But it does feel like he's going to get his comeuppance. He's going to realize what has happened, but it's going to take a while. But whilst he's in that position, with the Eight of Wands reversed, the Devil reversed, and the other one, which I've instantly forgotten, the Magician reversed, while he's in that influence of those three reversal cards, and that's kind of where his life is, I think he just needs to ride it through. And so for you, my darling, just be very, very mindful. That Queen of Pentacles coming up is really, really interesting. That I think he's going to ask for money or countersigning something. I really do. I do believe that, or like sign something over to him, but just withstand that, my love. But yeah, I hope that helps. And with that is going to be the last reading. We have gone plenty over, but again, Patricia's one of our mods, Ed is one of our mods. The mods take priority over timekeeping. So yeah, so thank you, everybody. Thank you very much to the mods. Zayan, Hamid, unfortunately, as the mods have said in the chat, this is the last reading for tonight. We were supposed to finish at 9 o'clock. We've gone 20 minutes over so that I could do a reading for my mods. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining me, everyone. Hopefully, we'll all be back on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time. If not, come and join us at 7 p.m. UK time on Sunday evening. We do this every Tuesday and every Sunday. Don't forget, if you would like to be part of the pre-live crew, every Sunday evening from 6 p.m. we have an hour of chatting in the chat. We have an hour of chatting on the stream where we get to talk about things in a much friendlier way. Like we comment on each other's lives, all of that. There's sometimes a reading, sometimes not, but it's where I'll give you sneak hints about what's coming up, if I'm doing events, if I'm doing, you know, generally what's going on in my life personally that I don't normally get into on the streams. And also it's where you can get yourself longer, more detailed readings if that's what you're after, as a member. So yes, there's also videos a day, at least a day early, exclusive downloads, things like that. So if you want any of that, get yourself across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic. I was just about to pop it back up on screen there, and I'm in the wrong. Look at that. I've done all right until the very end. Then I wasn't very professional. There you go. Up there. There it is. So if you want to do that, that's where you can join memberships. It's where you can book tarot readings and all of the above, or go down there to my website. But that's it for me tonight. Thank you to the mods. You've all been amazing, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to everybody who's joined us tonight for the very first time. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks to all those asking questions. And we're going to end it the way we always do. Stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I will definitely catch you on the next one. Bye-bye. I've even got that up. Bye.